Yeah, I think, unfortunately, the majority of victims of sexual abuse is children in the state of Maryland, and I don't think it can be even disputed at this point. We're victimized at state-run juvenile detention centers.
For the first time, a federal lawsuit is filed against the former secretaries of the Department of Juvenile Services and several superintendents of different facilities, alleging they knew sexual abuse was happening and didn't stop it. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost spoke with the attorney representing 3 people named in the civil lawsuit. In a story you're seeing first on Fox, and Mackenzie joins us live in studio with some of those details. Mackenzie.
Mary, some of the abuse that's happened inside of DJS facilities has been documented going back decades. 2 years ago, the state passed the Child Victims Act, which opened the door for survivors of childhood sexual abuse to sue their abusers in institutions, regardless of how long ago it happened. Then this year, lawmakers slashed the amount of survivors could get in half. Those changes are part of the reason the attorney in this case tells me he chose to take this issue to federal court, where those hurdles don't apply. The 3 people involved in this case are all under 21 years old and are not named specifically in the lawsuit. Instead, they go by initials and John and Jane Doe to protect their identity because they're not ready to speak publicly just yet. One of their attorneys described their alleged abuse, and just a warning, you might find some of the details a bit graphic. The Department of Juvenile Services is responsible for thousands of young people over the years, kids cycling through detention facilities. But this 78-page federal lawsuit just filed in the U.S. District Court of Maryland alleges the agency and its leaders over the years have failed the young people.
For thousands of kids that were at Charles Hickey or were at Waxter or the dozens of other facilities operated and run by the state, many of them were raped, were sodomized, and were sexually assaulted.
Who knew that this was happening inside these facilities?
Everyone. There is no secret.
Corey Stern is an attorney on this federal case. He says his 3 clients, 2 20-year-old women from Baltimore County and a 20-year-old man from Harford County, were repeatedly sexually assaulted at DJS facilities. Thomas J.S. Waxter, seen here in this video from a story I did while on assignment for Full Measure, Waxter now shuttered. It's located in Laurel and closed in 2022. Charles Hickey School is a detention facility in Baltimore County.
The widespread use of sexual brutalization as a means of either punishment or coercion within these facilities. And what I mean by that is if someone acted out, they might be taken into the bathroom and forced to perform oral sex on guards. They may be forced to be raped or gang raped by fellow inmates while guards watched. There were instances where guards would promise cigarettes or chocolate or more phone calls if someone would be willing to perform oral sex or worse. So it just was such a part of the power culture within the system.
Do you believe that this level of abuse could potentially still be going on within DJS facilities?
I don't just believe it, I'm certain of it.
Is that why the former secretaries of DJS are named specifically in this federal lawsuit?
Each one of them knew in their capacity as Secretary of Juvenile Services during their respective times in that role, that there was a high level of sexual abuse taking place within all facilities. And that's not lawyer speak. I mean, there are reports that were published publicly.
Cited in the lawsuit is this U.S. Department of Justice settlement notice from 20 years ago in 2005 involving Hickey, noting a 20-month investigation that revealed numerous civil rights violations, including physical abuse of juveniles by staff. This federal lawsuit, the one that was just filed, also hinges on civil rights violations.
These 3 individuals can proceed on a United States constitutional theory where the state and its actors violated their bodily integrity. The most precious thing we have is the integrity of our body.
So is there a dollar amount that you're specifically looking for at the end of this?
At least $100 million for each of these clients, and it's not enough. it's frankly not enough.
The lawsuit alleges an employee at Hickey who was directly responsible for supervising or providing care to John Doe forced him to perform oral copulation on him multiple times. John Doe was 14 years old at the time. While at Waxter, the lawsuit claims the defendants knew another defendant was sexually brutalizing, raping, and sodomizing one of the Jane Doe plaintiffs, who was 15 years old at the time. Stern says no matter what his clients or anyone else may have done to land themselves in a juvenile detention facility, he says that does not mean they deserve abuse.
I've never seen a sentence from a judge or a jury that says 15 years to life plus rape. You get raped every day in jail for 15 years to life. You get sodomized in jail every day for the rest of your life. Or for juveniles who are going to juvie, this comes with 1.5 years of some re-education, and you're going to have to perform oral sex on your captors.
As state lawsuits stack up against DJS, this federal suit with a $300 million price tag, Stern says, is another attempt at bringing about change to a system that's supposed to protect children.
In many ways, each of these survivor stories on their own may not do it, but the only way that the government can actually feel enough pain to make significant change is in their purse.
Now, I reached out to the Department of Juvenile Services for a comment. In a statement, a spokesperson says they take all accusations of sexual assault seriously and investigate them, but the agency will not comment on pending litigation. Again, this is a civil lawsuit, not criminal. It's going to take some time before there are any hearings, but we'll follow it as it unfolds. Live in the studio, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.